Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to follow me on social media. There are links in the description below. Very big thank you to everyone who leaves a comment and a like on every single video. I fear that we've entered terrible a point of no return, if you will, when it comes to all of this. A lot of these companies right now. So do you remember before in the olden days, like 4 months ago, we were getting like no. It was like 3 companies per week, like a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, that kind of thing. I really do think there was some kind of conversation had or said amongst these group of people, because they all claimed, at least, that they had some kind of a conversation with Michael Saylor, and he magically convinced hundreds of companies to start buying Bitcoin. But now it sounds more and more believable just because it keeps happening too frequently. I said in another video, I really think, like, this is, and I mean, you can put your tinfoil hat on if you like, I really feel like that something happened. You know how all the stuff we were getting before about like the Fed and this is happening and that's going on, and like I feel like behind the scenes, like something cracked, like some kind of foundational monetary thing actually broke, and we, the public, don't know what it is. We may have an idea. We've heard CEOs talking about debts and deficits and the US dollars, and this doesn't equate to having hundreds of companies in a 5-month period all announce that they're buying this digital currency that they didn't talk about or didn't care about before. This is what I'm kind of talking about. So I do think that something like actually took place that we don't know about yet, and this is why everyone's running towards Bitcoin. A company by the name of Samara Asset Group, a Malta-based asset management firm, has recently announced that they have purchased $57 million worth of Bitcoin, now holding 525 BTC. It says apparently this position represents nearly something weird is going on. This position represents nearly 28% of the company's total market cap. Remember how I told you before we had a couple of companies who were like mentioning, we want 100,000 worth of Bitcoin. We want $500,000 worth of Bitcoin. And now it's always like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000. This company just invested almost a third of how much their company is worth just into Bitcoin. See what I'm talking about? No normal anything would ever do that. You wouldn't, I hope you wouldn't, use 33% of the money that you have and push it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense as a company to actually do something like that. And alas, we keep getting tons of news like this. Also linked closely together, there's a company called Marathon Holdings. They're a Bitcoin mining company. The last month, we have heard of a number of a number of like gold and silver companies who are going to be using their profits to buy Bitcoin, and even a couple of Bitcoin mining companies who are shifting over to exclusively start buying Ethereum. Something weird is taking place. Marathon Holdings has announced that they are going to be raising $850 million US. $850 million US in the form of convertible senior notes, which is the thing that MicroStrategy did, where you issue debt against yourself and you say, hey, you buy some and I'll pay you back on this date. So they are going to be due. They have to pay the companies back by the year 2032. This will only be available for qualified institutional investors. Duh, normal people aren't buying $850 million worth of debt. 50 $50 million of that $850 million will apparently go to internal operations, to fixing things, to making sure the company structure is blah, 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 blah. 800 million will reportedly be going to buy Bitcoin. Once again, a little weird, simply because as far as I can remember, Marathon Holdings has been around for a while, and their main focus was just on kind of mining Bitcoin, not acquiring extra Bitcoin from other places that they didn't already have. So I think the shift, and I say it this way, if we're getting so many analysts announcing to us that they think that Bitcoin is going to $500,000 or to $1 million, I think these companies are taking that information to heart. I think they're hearing it. I think they're discussing it with Michael Saylor and the Novogratz and the Jack Dorseys of the world. They're coming to the exact same conclusion, the same exact way that the governments are doing it. The numbers being put forth are far too high to kind of make it seem random. I could have understood on a random day if Marathon Holdings had announced that they were going to be buying an additional $18 million worth of Bitcoin. Sure, why not? They want to have extra. 800 million tells me that they're positioning themselves and every other company for not only some kind of a collapse, but a leaning into Bitcoin, unlike anything that we've ever seen before. There's preparation for the future. There's you putting away $100 a month as like an extra savings thing. $400 a month, cool. You suddenly announcing that you're going to be putting away $27,000 every single month into a savings account with the money that you're getting from a bank loan to be able to. It's a very specific kind of dynamic for all of this. Another company who we've heard back from before, they're called Meliuz, Meliuz. We've heard about them 4 or 5 times at this point. They've announced once again that they have purchased more Bitcoin, and they're now holding nearly, they say, around 600 Bitcoin, and they aim to acquire more. The average number that many of these companies are announcing is usually that they want anywhere from 1,000, 5,000 to 10,000. Of course, they're all going to go over that number. But once again, I say that the timing is just, for me, a little odd. We continue to get these purchase acquisition kind of newses. We are rushing. Time is moving quickly for me, at least. We are rushing towards September and October, which are meant to be the pivotal months for the market. I will tell you from my standpoint, I do not know. But I don't think that the bull run is going to end in October. It just doesn't feel correct, if that makes any sense. I'm also part of the group of people who doesn't even think that we're going to have cycles anymore. I know that sounds insane, but any time in the last year and a half that we've seen any dips in price, they've been swept away rather quickly by companies and institutions like this who are always buying. So the idea that now this, once again, this is personal from the information that I've gathered. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. It's just simply like what I'm feeling. I would find it hard to believe that we would get to a point where Bitcoin would drop 10, 15, 20%, and that these institutions would simply go, okay, I'm done. I feel like they would take that as more of an opportunity to buy from the whatever. You understand what, like, it feels like we have shifted, like we're in a dramatically different market. It doesn't feel the same as it did before. Maybe it's the 19 companies per week who are announcing that they're buying up tons of Bitcoin. And these are the ones who are like publicly announcing it. There are tons of private companies who are also buying Bitcoin. There's tons of family offices. There are tons of countries who are continuously buying. Like, the literal wealth of nations is like quite dramatically strong. We know that there are multiple countries who are also buying. We just don't know exactly how much they're buying because they want to keep all of it secret. But yes, 3 more companies added to the list of new buyers and rebuyers. A lot of the companies who announced before that they wanted to buy have begun buying. A lot of the companies who said that they were going to have their initial purchase, they're now on their 3rd and 4th purchase. Yeah, it's not going to stop. I don't think there's going to be like a huge reversal, if you will. And this is where I think a lot of the $1 million predictions in like 3.5, 4 years are coming from. They're just like a constant, slow, steady climb over the course of the next 4 years. That seems far more believable than another like 3-year bear market, at least for me. Right. Hope you've all been doing well. Hope you've all been investing well. Hope you've all been doing what makes you happy. Thank you all once again for watching the channel, listening to the video, and supporting the channel in your own way. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.